take the upload, I guess.
There you go. Thank you, sir. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Peacemaker Season 2 reviews. But this is a special one because it is the Season 2 finale. Yeah, that's it for Season 2. We're going to talk about this episode, non-spoilers, spoilers, and then give an overall rating number for the entire season. I am the Prawn, Trasnell, and I'm joined by...
I am giant fucking titties, Kirkland Patzer.
And
I think
I'm
it's
joined
actually
by...
gargantuan, but I was in a rush to make the cast, so I didn't double
see.
check what he actually said.
I would have
Tim
never...
Meadows quote.
I would have never corrected you, you know. So,
Okay.
and then we're here with nobody yet. Taylor's on his way. We're starting a little early here so we can get some stuff out of the way. But yeah, that's what we're doing. Peacemaker. This is the end of it here. In the next 2 weeks, you'll get the end of Gen V, and then me and Taylor will be doing the It reviews. Unless I don't think you're not staying on the HBO train, are you? You coming aboard the Pennywise train?
No.
No. But you'll be back in January for
There you go.
Night of Seven Kingdoms.
Exactly.
There you go. But yeah, we got that. Fall will be happening. And then tons of reviews. Tron Ares tomorrow. The week after that, The Black Phone. The week after that, Shelby Oaks. Fingers crossed. We're hoping to get Frankenstein. But I think that's unlikely, so we'll see. And then, yeah, lots of other casts. Side quests, Tress told you. There's been some good fun ones this week with the chat and talking about some Halloween stuff. So appreciate that. The biggest thing you can do is head over to Patreon. Well, the second biggest thing for the next 2 months is head over to Patreon because you get this episode ad-free. Right now, we are re-releasing the Predator retrospectives, but you could join and get all those right now. Whenever you want, you can get a bunch of other retros that are in the past locked behind a paywall, and because Apple only keeps about 250 episodes. So what you laughing at over there? Huh?
Just the meme that I posted in the NFL.
You're
chat.
still laughing at
I'm
that.
sorry.
Your own
I
meme,
popped it up and it just made me laugh. Sorry.
Yeah, and that's what you can join the Discord because our Discord we're
Exactly.
talking about a bunch of stuff. We're talking about there's a regular channel, we got wrestling channel, which the gimmick will be going this weekend. We got a video game channels, we got the NFL channel, which is really fun, just on football and just you can just see the demise of my fucking fantasy team every week because just great. Saquon Barkley for lowest game of the season. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah, I love it. Every week my team finds a new way. This is how bad it is, Kirkland. I got Henry benched right now, and Saquon Barkley's putting on his worst game of the season. Like I have. On paper, you look at it, I got an all-star team. They don't produce all-star. It's a fuck. I can't wait till we do our mid-season after 9 because the amount of complaining I'm gonna do is just like it's like comical at this point. You know, it's just don't
It's
even
boring.
know. Yeah,
When it
but
rains, it pours.
you had a tough week too because Mike just put up a lot of points with that tight end
Yeah.
for Giants. So and your roster is you might
a
be
rough
joining me in a
week.
couple weeks with your if they
a
don't
rough
recover.
week.
So check out that. But yeah, check everything else. And then November 8th is our extra live stream, and I will tell you a little bit more about that later. A shout out to our Patreon producers. Aaron Braden, April of Darkness, Jack Grant, Sam, Superbad, Mike, God Loves Me 69, Jeremy Renner, Charlie Randall, Cocktail Clay, John with no H, and Sam Green. Also, they talk about a bunch of benefits you can join and do right now. The biggest one is the producer. You get the shout, and you get to vote on the polls for content we do, and you also get to pick a movie. Just last week, we reviewed The Shining. Well, actually, no, that was the Halloween retrospective that the Patreon producers voted on. But just last week, we also reviewed White Man Can't Jump because that was John's pick. Next week, we're going to be reviewing The Bike Rider. So if you want us to review something that we haven't reviewed before, become a producer, and you get every single tier. And as we've said before, we'll probably have some announcements at Extra Life. That tier is going to be getting a little beefed up in the next few months. And it's exciting times. So, yeah, Taylor, stall as much as I could. Talk about Extra Life. I guess I'll talk about that now. November 8th, 24-hour stream, BC Children's Hospital. Lots of way to support. The link down below. You can donate. Kirk, when you upload the episode, I'll send you the links. There is the Extra Life link now. All good to go. You can buy shirts. We got a Jurassic Park Superman shirt and a Peacemaker shirt. Or not a Peacemaker. Fuck, we didn't make a Peacemaker shirt and a Fantastic Four shirt. If you buy those or donate, all those proceeds go towards BC Children's Hospital, which help with families, as whether it's recovering, surgeries, tools, medical equipment, all that stuff all goes towards BC Children's Hospital. We'd very much appreciate that. We got a goal of $2,500 this year. If we can get near that, we would have raised $20,000 Canadian over 9 years, which would be a huge milestone and landmark for us. So I would always love to hit the goal, but I would love to hit that goal specifically because that's a great number to just talk about and celebrate with each and every one of you. So we appreciate it. Day of come donate, watch, like the video. You can click on the link as well. You can see the schedule right now. That's pretty tentative, but it's getting more solidified, and all the goals if we hit certain amounts. So look out for that. It's going to be a very fun time. And yeah, so Peacemaker season 2 finale. Taylor, Still on here. So I'm going to throw it to Mr. Kirkland because that's the only person I can throw it to. So what did you
gonna
think?
start with Taylor?
Yeah.
If he was here?
Oh well, of course. The first 5 minutes, I got to get his thoughts on that. There's some action going on that I'm sure he was just like, "Look at this mass, and would you like if I
Yeah.
did this for you?"
I was
But
actually gonna open my thoughts with a question for Taylor, but I'm gonna have to wait for him to get here.
you're gonna have to
But,
wait. So yeah, what are you thinking now?
What am I thinking? Yeah, I mean, this season I had a really fun time with it. I think the humor across the board was up there. I think season one, like looking back on it, I thought that season was hilarious, and I think there was not like I don't know. I haven't rewatched season one, but like in my mind, I just remember it being hilarious like all the time. And in this one, I feel like I didn't have like as consistent of laughs, but it definitely reached those levels of humor. Tim Meadows for me was like 90% just fantastic. Like I feel like it was really really small percentage of his jokes around him that didn't work for me. He was just so fantastic. In this episode, he's a sequence that just had me dying, and it's basically the scene that ties in with my name, and it's just him like going off. Like I'm curious how much Gunn like kind of like sheep herded him or just like, hey, just do your thing, man, just you're fantastic, whether he's improvising or not, or going off script. Just fantastic. And what else? Yeah, I mean, our main cast was fantastic also. I really really enjoyed all of them. I still just felt unsatisfied though, like in this episode. It definitely was like, okay, the peak event of like the season I think was last week's episode, and this is kind of like the epilogue episode, but like there's still decent juice stuff that happens in here, and like there is some adventure and like stuff going on in this episode. It's not like it's a complete just like drama off of last week, but yeah, I just
The trauma of last week's almost non-existent for this episode as a minor spoiler, to be honest.
yeah. No, absolutely. And I think I was just like very head scratched by the end of it of like, wow, that's it. That's the season 2. And there's a pretty lengthy like end credit here that I can't remember if it's an end credit or if credits hadn't even rolled by this point or not.
Is the comedic stuff or the dramatic reveal?
The dramatic stuff.
That's not even a
like
credit. That's a fade to black, and then
Okay.
boom, there's more. Yeah, the credits was more of the jokes.
I'm
and
just so
everything,
used to like Marvel
course,
and
yeah.
comic book stuff, just having those mid credits, end credits, all the credits. But
Mm-hmm.
it like that happened, and I'm like, I feel like this could have been a part of the season instead of just like a really quick thing at the end of the show to just be like, yeah, this is what's going on now, progressing forward with the story. And like it just felt like lazy of like, oh fuck, we forgot to like tie in something, so let's just put this in a fade to black. Like that's really
We
how
need
it
to trend
felt.
on X.
And it's like pretty significant too, like what's happening of just I don't know what's going on with a certain character. So I was a little bit puzzled that wasn't like included on like getting this in the season, but who knows, because I did enjoy the vast majority of what was going on. But I'm definitely wishing I had more of this season. So I guess that's speaking to the level of enjoyment I had, because
There you go.
I'm sad it's over. But this episode just felt like the most, wow, there's like a whole nother course on the menu that I'm missing out on. I just have to go to a meeting or something, you know. I have to dip out of this awesome dinner. But yeah.
Yeah, I'll go next because I know Taylor did just get here. We're joined by.
I'm the Yosemite, Taylor Field.
It's
Thanks,
not
sure.
Yosemite.
Yosemite, you
It's a callback.
bastard. It is a callback. But I'll go because I'm not sure where Taylor is, but I know where I am, and I like to try to balance our views out and whatnot. But some people in the chat, Johnny's saying, the season was amazing until this episode. And that's funny. I feel like that has been, for the people that really enjoyed this season, I've seen a lot of people, whether they say it's bad or disappointing or unsatisfied, it just feels like this episode overall for almost most people didn't work. We'll find out for Taylor, because obviously Kurgan just really enjoying the season, but this episode maybe had some issues. And then Hunter's
I
asking
think
about,
there is good stuff in this episode, but it's just like where we're leaving now. Like this is the finale. Like that.
Yeah.
I think that's my biggest holdup.
and Hunter, we will talk about that once we get to the spoiler section. I don't want to say it because your comment does have some spoilers, and just in case someone can't listen to this or they just want to know non-spoilers for now, we're going to talk about obviously what because there's some revelations of where the DCU is going, so they delivered on that. So yeah, it's interesting on a multitude of fronts. I'm somebody that season 1 really surprised me, end up liking that. I have made no secret that season 1 for me is very superior to this, and this episode didn't do anything to change that. If anything, it just brought the score down for this season a lot more. I thought this season was Never bad. Luckily, I think there was some bad stuff in it, but just like there's some great stuff in it as well. I think this season overall has just been like good to all right, and this finale was. You said it the best, like just kind of a head scratcher overall. We're tackling some big things that didn't even feel like the season was about the core issue of this finale, which was super odd. There's one character which I know Kirkland doesn't like, but there's one character that was acting, I felt completely like out of nowhere, and it's a character we've seen from multiple times. And I was waiting. Oh, there must be a reveal. Someone's controlling this character. Something's going on. No, it just feels like we missed so much backstory. And I like you said that back portion of the Fade to Black. To me, it almost feels like this whole episode. If you were to tell me, hey, this was actually episode 1 for season 3, Peacemaker, I'd be like, oh, I believe that more because this feels like a setup for a bunch of stuff. And that's where I am because. So for the show overall, I don't think this episode was really that good. There's some good stuff in it, but I don't think there's multiple issues. I don't think. I think there is multiple issues that I have with it, and overall, this season is very kind of forgettable for me. I'm not going to be that excited for Peacemaker season 3 or whatever, which we'll talk about the spoilers that they're kind of hinting at. For the DCU, honestly, I'm still very meh on it so far. I don't dislike it. And obviously, it's tough because we live in a world where you have Marvel and then you have everything else that's kind of shitty, right? You have like the Mummy universe that tried. You have like the Sony Marvel, which wasn't good. You had the DCU, which ended up being messy. So, like, as cinematic universes, this is probably, yeah, a solid number 2. I guess you get the Conjuring. Conjuring actually, I'd put the Conjuring over DC right now because, hey, there's no fucking project in the DCU like the Conjuring, the first movie, right? But for cinematic universes, there's not many of them, right? So at least the good thing I'll say is that it's well made from a technical level, it's well acted, and they do know where they're going, and that's one thing. But as far as the quality so far, Superman I thought was good, and this to me is like it's good to find, but I've been disappointed with each, and both of those I thought more excited for those projects than these two guys. So it's just kind of funny now at the back half. So I'm really hoping, and maybe this is it, that the next two projects we got Green Lanterns and then we got Supergirl. Both of those are not written or directed by James Gunn. I'm really hoping it is just a case that I've said before. I prefer James Gunn when he has maybe someone working with him, like a Feige or Marvel. I think sometimes when he's off the leash, for me, it doesn't really work out. Other than I'd say Peacemaker season 1, his DC stuff I haven't absolutely loved. So Green Lanterns and Supergirl for me is a big tester of, is it just the James Gunn project, or is all the DCU stuff kind of be like this? Because he did say, oh, there's not really going to be homework and stuff. I don't know. I felt like a lot of this stuff in this episode felt like it was like you'll have, and we'll see when we get to Man to More and other stuff, but it felt like you would kind of have to know at least a few things going in, right? And that's a good thing. I'll be a good tester because Emily's never going to watch Peacemaker. She'll see Superman, so I'll get to ask her when we see like, hey, what about this? What about that? And I'm sure you can explain it in a dialogue sense where you could just have a character exposition for a couple minutes, right? But my thing is the ending of the show does not feel like an ending to this show. It feels like an ending to the universe, which I felt like Gunn said he didn't want to try and do the Marvel thing because that ended up with the Marvel stuff where people started to complain, hey, there's too much going on and too much to follow. So there's that. So there's the quality to me was the universe to me is and then the other thing that I don't care as much about, but the biggest thing that's been on social media is James Gunn being like, man, these 3 episodes I haven't shown them to my publicists, we're not showing them to the critics. And I have the quote here. Let me bring up the quote for what he said.
The quote about the runtime.
Yeah.
One thing
I
at
don't
a
know.
time.
It's
One
longer than
grievance at a
it's
time.
longer than 57 minutes. It's 58 minutes. Very very fun. I don't enjoy his online humor. I really don't. The quote was, this is a little spoilery, but you can read into what it is. We have some really big stars from the DC universe that are going to be near the end of the season. Other than the one we got a couple weeks ago in a prison, what did we get here? What are the big stars? Like, what are the surprises? So I just like, that's my thing where it's just from the quality standpoint, it's not there for me. And the stuff that Gunn talks about to get us excited and hyped, I keep feeling kind of underwhelmed by it. And I will say this again, Merger Bros, I'm sorry. I do not want, after Superman, and especially after this, I do not want Robert Pattinson anywhere fucking near the DCU. Like I so help me God or devil, whoever's out there, I'll sell the soul like Conjuring Last Rites. I'll do something because it's just like, man, I just do not want him around this stuff. Let Reeves at least finish 2, and even if that's it, that's fine. Because yeah, just right now. So Peacemaker, this finale, don't think was good. I think this season was fine, and for the overall DCU, I'm not really. I will be there because I like it enough, but I'm not like, oh man, I can't wait. I'm excited for Supergirl because I think Millie Alcock looks great in that role. So I think that's gonna be a great performance. Just like David Cornsweet, he was great in Superman, right? Same thing as John Cena, he's great in the show. Performances again are all great. Acting, zero complaints really overall for the most part in most of these projects so far. But it's the actual quality of the show that and this finale was an odd one. So yeah, wasn't a big fan of this. So Taylor Field.
Oh, not a fan. Not a fan of this finale.
Those first 5 minutes, you saw that, and you were already on a nosedive. You're like,
Should have
what?
started with Taylor Field on his overall thoughts.
He wasn't here.
Yeah, just I think things could have been better coming off of such a hot episode last week, and I feel like I've been pretty like warming up quite well on this season 2 of the show, but yeah, there's a lot that was still needing to be wrapped up and kind of explained. Well, not even explained, but just I feel like we needed to further along a little bit more of the narrative with these characters and such, and just to kind of get what we got. It felt like we were only maybe 75% the way there. Maybe not even 75, maybe like 66% the way there. There's still a good chunk of stuff that needed to be
66.
addressed, I feel like, when it comes to just like the characters and such. And it expedited it. When we got to the back half, like not even the back half, like the end of the episode, it was like, okay, we're obviously seeing a bit of a time jump here, not a spoiler, but things were just like really picking up and we're jumping ahead and like, okay, things are really happening here. But there's a lot of stuff that I would have liked to have seen leading up to this kind of point. No, it's not only in this part of the episode too. Earlier on was stuff with like Rick Flag Sr. Holy fuck! It's like, what are they doing here? Because they're just totally changing.
It's
just
so
the setup.
weird.
It's super weird, and they address it once in one scene.
Barely.
Even
Like,
then, it was
not even
fitting.
justifiable. Like, we'll get into full spoilers, but man, it's just like it was weird. It's like they let ChatGPT take over this character, and it was like. Again, yeah.
I thought it was a doppelganger. I thought like, okay, there's
okay, all right. You're getting too far
Spoilers.
into it. Okay, you're getting too far into it.
But yeah, I'm not high on this episode. Now that being said, maybe a future project could retroactively make this episode boost it up a little bit, but I don't think that's what you should be doing.
In 2 years, finale part 2 for season 2
Yeah.
Peacemaker.
I guess I should save there's another scene that I'm going to save for spoilers because that was just, it made me laugh when I saw it. James Gunn was
We
frothing at
know.
the mouth when
We
he was,
know
he's like-
what scene.
They stopped the cameras, but they just kept going like that Superman set.
Okay, let's get into it. Okay, if you've not seen the episode, we're going to take our first ad break, and then we're going to get into full spoilers. So we will be right back. We are back. Okay,
I'm starting first of all
Yeah,
here because I was
perfect,
going
go
to pose a question to Taylor Field at the start
Right,
of this review.
yes.
Taylor, you like the idea of like multiverse theory? There's just
I love it.
There's infinite realities out there, and if that's the case, then there is guaranteed a reality where there is just a total asshole scumbag John Cena
Aspeg.
who's just like totally stealing Jennifer Holland away from James Gunn during the filming of this show.
what if that's this universe? The
It very
story's not
much
end
could
yet.
be. It very much could be. I'm just watching this. I'm on my couch. I got my little tea. I'm watching this, and I'm like, man, like there's been so many cases of like whether it's Brad Pitt cheating on Angelina Jolie or
No, Jennifer.
Aniston.
Yeah, Aniston with Jolie.
Poor
yeah.
Jennifer. My God, Angelina Jolie. I'm terrible with names right now.
Yeah.
But I'm just like watching this. And I'm like, man, like this happens often in Hollywood. I'm sure John Cena's really nice.
Difference is the
wholesome
husband's
guy.
on the set though this time. A lot of those stories, the husband or wife's
he's
not
on the
there,
set.
right? So he's there with
wants
the
to watch.
chair.
Not for all like the acting.
Are you
like-
saying
like-
you've
like
converted to
rehearsing
Taylor's
things.
side now? You've converted to there's
I'm always just in the memeing camp because it's just so fun to speculate with this idea. I love it. I'm more in that aspect to the reality of it because at the end of the day, they are in the movie business. She's like an actual actor. It's not
Yes.
like it's just like hey, you should put your beautiful wife in this role who's never acted before, just so she can like mac on
It's
screen with
John's
John
idea.
Cena. But so I definitely entertain it for entertainment's sake. But still, just watching the scene, and of course we've just been like memeing about it all season, and then it just lip lock, spinning the camera around. It's like extended. I swear I saw some tongue in there too with some saliva exchange, and I'm just like, my mind's going. But yeah,
They
it was
are
good stuff.
actors. It is all fake. Nothing is going on.
That we know
There's-
of.
What about
could be
Superman?
revealed.
Was that all fake, or was that like hot?
Again,
and
what I
heavy at
said
times?
though, first of all, that is still just no one's divorced
Also-
or anything, and the husband is not there on set. I think there is no issue with the husband being there if it's all cool. And again, we've talked about this before. What if in real life they're just swingers? Then it really didn't matter, right? It's
true.
People are doing that all the time, so it's like
Let's
that-
say they're not swingers though, and like I never want to push for adultery or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, stay true and to your partners. But like,
What are you bitching?
what happens to the DCU if that actually occurred?
Peacemaker and Hardcore die off screen. This is what happens.
That's literally
That's what
would be
happened.
James Gunn looking to Peter Safran. He's like, "Okay, what's next for the future of the DCU?" And he just leaps. Again, just making jokes, people. I don't actually hope that's it.
Huh? Isn't that right? Huh, brother?
James Gunn and John Cena at the Justice League premiere.
Strawberry.
He's just like, Sean Gunn. But anyways, let's get out of here. You guys are bringing me down to your level. I think it's completely fine. It's nothing's happening. They're actors, actresses. It's all for fun. I will say though, on a legitimately story point, which to me they didn't talk about, don't think they'll ever talk about. This whole season we've heard about the boat, right? And I think they kind of almost made an insinuation that it was like them having sex, right? That's what we all thought, right? Like in the show. Specifically hardcore and peace. We're not talking about that. So we
okay.
learned that they went. Really was looking at me in a dirty way of like, what are you talking about? But no. So they kind of it made it sound the insinuation that they had sex. But then we learned this episode. We go to 1 month ago. And we learned it was actual boat. It was like a rock cruise or something. They kiss, big romantic scene. He spins her, and it's slow mo. They kiss, and then she gets emotional and leaves. So am I to take it they have not had sex, right?
They've definitely not slept together.
No.
Okay, so am I supposed to take it that the John Cena or the Chris that went to the Nazi world that woke up half naked and showering with Amelia Harcourt had sex with her?
Yes, they absolutely had sex.
That's
What?
wild. That's a wild observation, actually. I didn't think about that at all until now.
When she walked off the boat, I was because don't get me wrong,
That's crazy.
I already was saying it was kind of weird of like if me and Emily had a fight and I went to a different universe, been like, oh, I banged another version of you. I think that person Emily would kind of be like, that's a weird way to get over your problem, but maybe you'd get over because it's like it's the same person, it's sex, whatever. If me and Emily were first dating and then we didn't make love and then I went to a different universe and made love to a different version of her first, so the first time that and who knows because like they didn't really get together in this season, but then they went to the concert again. They were all like hugging it. Like they looked like they were implying they're starting to get romantically involved. So Chris's first time ever with Amelia Harcourt will be the Nazi version of her. I feel like fuck the Rick Flag stuff. That enough have Harcourt be like, ew, like we can be friends, we can care about each other, but I'm never crossing it. Like that's a weird thing. Like all the other stuff that Chris gets in his hand and worry about, it's like, no man, that's the way life is. Like as great speech, again, great acting about this stuff, bad stuff doesn't happen just because of you. And look at all these things you've done. There's tons of stuff that Peacemaker cannot control that is bad that's happening to him. Him fucking a different version of Amelia Harcourt and then just come back being like, did it mean something? Did it mean anything? It's like, what? That doesn't matter anymore. Like when she got off that boat, I was like, gross. Like I was like, that just doesn't. To me, that I don't buy it. It's like, oh, it's just big love now. It would have been fine if they just heavily insinuated that maybe he didn't sleep with that Harcourt, right? Like they went on a date and hung out. That's fine. But like he woke up in bed naked with her. They was like they definitely implied they had sex. So just did not like that at all. Weird stuff.
I almost wish you didn't make that observation because it
Makes it worse, right?
It detracts 100%. Yeah, that's really bizarre, and I feel like something that they should have meant. Like
No one caught that in the writers' room. Well, there's no writers' room though in the James Gunn thing.
James
Remember, he
Gunn.
wrote this in a weekend.
oh, I love it. I'm not gonna, but I'm curious for the people that listen to his podcast and have his explanation of that. Like,
Yeah, I know
Does
it's
he
out
like
there.
questions in? Do people
No,
like
not really.
rant?
And
No,
so
it's
for all the
just
stuff
a
that's
fluff show, isn't it? He's just glazing himself the whole time.
pretty much, and like tonight, Aggie and his wife are on there, so it's just them talking about the show and everything.
Yeah.
So, and the only quotes that have come out about it are like what Hunter put in the chat, like stuff about the future. So we'll see there. So, but anything else on that portion?
Nobody's like us, me and Taylor in the chat, asking him the real questions on his podcast.
I,
Just live reaction, like how we pull up comments on the StreamYard.
James, are you worried?
You just see him sweating on screen. He's getting
you
all
fuckers.
angry.
We're never. We're one of our films gonna break through. We're gonna get a meeting with James Gunn, and then they're just gonna pull this episode. And you two fucked us. GVS never making anything DC related because of
Is
this.
he gonna
you know?
stick around though? I mean, what if Warner Brothers sells and then Netflix buys it or Paramount buys it, and then they're like, "All right, James, you're out of here."
I don't think they would just
But,
do that.
but John and
Yeah,
are
John,
staying.
you get James.
We're
place
keeping
now.
Amelia.
No, we're keeping
You can
Amelia and
take Sean.
Chris. Yeah, that's another time. I think both. I think legitimately, Paramount could buy them and give James Gunn a 10-year contract. Paramount could buy them and fire them the next day. You never know what that's my thing of like any. I think I have no idea what the second richest man in the world's thinking when he buys Warner Brothers. I'm not going to try to think like what does he think about. I've said this before. He could have been in the same room with James Gunn, and James Gunn could have bumped into him and went, "What's up, bro?" and walked away. And the second he sits down, it'd be like this. He'd be pulling up this podcast, being like, "James, you remember that day you stepped on my shoe?" Like you never fucking know. So we'll wait and see. Hunter E asked, "What are your thoughts on the Salvation run for the DCU?" We'll get there when we get to that portion, but we will talk about it. TC24 said 7 out of 10 finale for me. Overall, 8 out of 10 for the season. So there, that's pretty good. And then we can talk about this quickly because then we'll probably move on to some of the bigger stuff. But this to me was a big con as well. Super Red Mike said, yeah, he's referring to a non-spoiler portion. Yeah, for sure. I thought the Rick Flag was mind-controlled or a shapeshifter or something, acting very strange in this episode. 100%, because that's a setup where Chris is in jail, which, again, I have a problem with that too, but we'll get there. Chris is in jail, and the other people are going through the doors. They're looking for something, right? We don't know what that is. And it's a whole montage of people in suits. So Hardcore, Tim Meadows, some other characters. They're in suits going through these doors. Tons of danger. And now pretty much it's the entire Lex Luthor crew and Rick Flag. Rick Flag has replaced Lex Luthor. And not only as far as the superiority figure, literally at times he's not acting like Nicholas Hoult, Lex Luthor, but he's acting in the way that Lex Luthor you would think kind of would as far as the success rate. I don't understand, and I get what they could try to do, or James Gunn might pitch me like Rick Flag's a gray character. He's going to go back and forth between good and bad, right? Like a Wanda, something like that. Okay, I can kind of see where that's going. I still think so far between Creature Commandos, this show, and Superman, he's more on the good side. But definitely in this show, there's sometimes where you see he's a little darker. But we've talked about before where, okay, it's because his son was murdered by this guy, so we can understand why he might be a little off kilter, right? To have in this episode where there's other, and these aren't fucking Suicide Squad, as far as we know, they're not Suicide Squad people, they're not former criminals. There are people, workers that he's responsible for, might have families. And people might go, "Oh, you're looking at it so seriously." Yeah, to me, I am, because it's a fucking show I'm consuming and what Rick Flag has done. Just because James Gunn likes to make jokes, everything shouldn't be a joke. There's people going through these portals that are literally dying, being killed, and then there's smash cut to Rick Flag, who's laughing with all the criminals to the side.
It's like
High-fiving
Goodfellas.
them.
It's literally
Yeah.
like the fucking meme from Goodfellas when they're just dying
It is.
laughing in the bar.
And it's just like the only way I will accept this if they say, yeah, like now Rick Flag's just a villain. If they say he's just a villain from now on, that's fine, because like I still think it's not the greatest writing, but at least it's like, okay, this was his breaking point, right? His son died, and he just never really recovered from interact with Peacemaker. Like Taylor said, you could eventually write that story and kind of fix it. That's fine. But at any point, if he's on the good guy side or helping our heroes, I don't give a fuck about this character surviving, because he's just chuckling while these innocent bystanders are getting there. Like they're dying in violent ways. And it's just like he's all chummy, and Amelia, who he's close with, like, "Yep, we don't need you. Sorry, go away." And something that like you feel like they're gonna hear about eventually. It felt like someone else was writing this character, and it's so odd because again, and that's why I even had the problem a little bit with Holt, a little bit when they had the fucking glasses guy. Apparently he's just doing coke, and like we talked about that he like masturbates. Like Superman, I guess just a PG-13, but I could believe that Superman and Peacemaker were written by different people. This is James Gunn writing these same characters. And to me, even the little bits we saw of Rick Flag, and even in that boardroom, that did not feel like the Rick Flag that was just in Superman a month ago. Even the character Trice says that, like, oh, you were very different a month ago. But the thing is, if a character is going to change so radically, we got to see that. And we did not see that. So that to me was a massive con. So I know, Kirkland, you're not already a fan of maybe the character and maybe more so the actor, but what did you think about, Rick Flake's just having a great day at work while people are just fucking dying around him, which has never been a trait. Like, look at Creature Commandos. He feels bad about a bunch of fucking freaks, and those are people that are like, you could label as criminals, where these are just regular government workers. Like, it's weird.
It feels so disconnected for like trying to be the same universe, and although it's animated to live action, like it's supposed to be the exact same character in the exact.
That's what
same
Gunn
world.
says.
Yeah, and it's. I don't buy that for what was shown to us. I definitely have like my own biases of not liking the character because I'm just not the biggest Frank Grillo fan, and I feel like there's been peaks and valleys throughout the season of like really not liking the character to being like, okay, although I don't love Frank Grillo, like what they're doing with the character is at least somewhat enticing. And it's like completely in the fucking trash bag right now, below like the expired milk. Like I so do not care about this character anymore, and I don't want him to be any part of the universe. And like just the idea of him being like the potential Nick Fury of this universe, it's just like that disgusts me. Like I hate this character so much, and I think what was
not
shown
like
here,
a good way, right? Not like I want to see him get his comeuppance,
like a good villain that you just want to despise. Like it's so annoying to see him on screen now.
To me, and I haven't seen this in a while, but something like the Suicide Squad, James Gunn did that in 2 hours with Peacemaker, where he was like a funny joke machine, and then when he does that turn and he kills Rick Flag Jr. and he starts helping Waller, in that last third act, you're like, fuck this guy, man. He's just like a government snob, and all the breadcrumbs are there to buy that turn, right? Where none of that's here. If anything, they've been trying to make him more emotional with like him being close to Amelia and all this stuff, and it feels like we're missing a bunch of episodes, or just minutes.
Yeah, I feel like the bigger grievance I have with the character as a whole is like it's so fucking obvious that he's just like a straight villain of like he gets into this role that's like supposed to be like a very high tier like government official role, like it's basically like Black Ops level, right? Because it's like nobody really knows too much about Argus, but it's in like the government, and it's just like so blatant that he like, my goal is to take down fucking Christopher Smith. That is the only goal.
Yes.
Not do anything for the government or like anything like stopping. Like there's a little bit of metahuman stuff like sprinkled in there, but like it's really just fucking to send Christopher Smith to this fucking salvation plan. Like to me, that's what is his main goal. Even if anything else is said, like we're gonna make a prison for metahumans, it's like I'm gonna fucking take out Christopher Smith, and that's been him this whole season. And then at the end, he's like elevated to a whole nother level because he's just so different already than what he's been in this season. Like when he's beating the shit out of Peacemaker and he's getting emotional, that's good content. It's like, man, like this guy lost his son. He's taking out all this rage. He wants him to fight back. Like he's just at a very emotionally vulnerable level. But like what's happening? Like it doesn't even seem like it's the same character here. He's laughing at all his lack. He's like just getting murdered. So yeah, it's so disconnected and just so. I'm so uninterested in the character. Like they actually managed to go from like 0 to negative on my interest with.
And they try to like tie it together with "we'll get there," but when they send them through the portal, like, oh, this is for Ricky, but it's like that doesn't feel like it really matters anymore.
No.
And because you could make that point, right? You could have done the whole story of, oh, he's using his son's death to make it seem like that's what he's really here for, but he's there for the power. Where to me, the season of the writing was he's using his like the power that Chris has to get to the guy that caused his son's death. It was the other way around. But at the finale, they tried to switch. It's like, no, that's not what you've been telling this whole season. And that's why I said the non-spoilers too, is like even the whole goal of this finale is, oh, the big thing is like we got to find what's happening in these portals, and then we're making a jail for for metahumans. And it's just like when it's like, okay, you don't have to watch all this stuff to be connected. Let's say you don't watch Superman. When did metahumans really pose a huge threat in this season? If you're just watching Peacemaker, that's the most random fucking plot line of all. It was Chris is not a metahuman. Adrian's not a metahuman. I guess they say like Sophia Bador. Oh, you're a metahuman, right? It's like, all right, cool. Try to
like shacking up with.
Yeah, he didn't care.
Has that been implied at any point in this show? It's just this episode that they started shacking, or did I miss?
No, they did. No, they did. She was attracted to him one time. He said something. She was like, "Ooh," like hot and bothered
yeah,
when he
fuck
like
off.
laid down the law. But it's just like that's where it's just like the same thing that his goals completely changed, and the goal of the show was not throughout the season metahumans are wrecking shop. That is directly a plot line from Superman. So when he says like, "Oh, you don't have to watch one thing to watch the other," yeah, you do, because where in this show is it shows that metahumans are a massive threat to society. Because most of the threats that were happening were in the other fucking universe that Rick Flag Sr. didn't even go to or doesn't even care about. So it's just like his motivations both personally and with the plot line, it literally was just like, yeah, let's set up Superman Man of Tomorrow, which is weird because you could just have that story in Man of Tomorrow. Like Lex set up, so like it just feels very odd. And that's why I just can't believe him when he's like, oh, there won't be a homework thing. It's like, to me, that is. I don't know how you watch this season without Superman and feel connected to, oh, we got to lock up all the metahumans now. And all right, I don't know. Just odd stuff. Taylor, make any sense of this stuff? You like Tulsa King?
Oh
Flags there?
yes, you know Grillo, he's awesome. He's always in these underdog roles and whatnot.
Okay.
Here we go. He's Rick Flag Senior, and I liked his character in Creature Commandos, and I thought for the most part there's some juice here, but this is what I was talking about in my non-spoilers thoughts. It completely just turned this character around. You guys mentioned it. I thought it was some kind of shapeshifter or something because he's just
For sure.
high-fiving
I'm like,
all
oh, Lex
Lex's
has
minions,
his body controlled somehow. That's what I thought, you know?
yeah, and I mean, they're setting it up where Amelia even asks General, like, oh no, you want me to call you Rick, and just the way he's responding to it, it's like, okay, he's not in tune with how she's supposed to call him by his nickname.
Mike
Like,
said
they
that
were-
too, and I thought the same thing. I thought, oh, this guy's not our fucking Rick Flag, which they could do later on, but that doesn't help the season of the
That
show.
doesn't help at
I don't
all,
want 3
no.
years to be like, oh, the Peacemaker season 2 finale is much better now.
That's
Roll
like
roadie
doing
situation.
Yeah, 100%.
it's like doing G.I. Joe Rise of the Cobra and having the president be the shapeshifter, but then not paying off until the follow-up movie, which almost doesn't happen. But like,
I don't know if that's the same.
What a
but that's
niche
okay.
reference. I don't remember that one.
Because at least in that movie, they showed, hey, this is the fake president. So you knew right away, where we don't know that in this show, right?
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you remember
Uh,
that.
Because it's
He knows.
Imhotep.
Big fan.
Imhotep.
It is Imhotep,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
It is
don't even remember
Imhotep.
that. I don't think I've seen him
Maybe he whistles.
Yeah.
But I just wish that we got a little bit more development on our character here with Rick Flag Senior, because him just high-fiving Lex's minions. I don't know. I'm
That
not.
was
I'm
so
not
fucking
buying this
weird.
because you get the
These
scene.
guys
all
killed
these
hundreds of people in
killed hundreds
Metropolis.
of people, almost destroyed the world, and then you just see like Rick Flag's own team members are just getting killed by fucking dimensions, and then it just cuts to like Lex's minions doing like just snort coke, and then he's just
Yeah,
high fiving them. This is just weird, and he's like, "Oh, dinner." He's going out to dinner with Lex's minions and all of this, and
Like
like
you said,
every
even
time
the Coke thing, like it's exposed. I get why it's in there because I think, oh, it's so funny they're doing Coke, but like, is that what this is? Like the Shield Argus, they can just do Coke and it's fine. And again, I guess I'm fine if from now on Argus should be just a terrible organization, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think what's going to happen is when you get them back in PG-13, people aren't going to be masturbating and they're not going to be eating Coke. So it's like, then why are you making these characters do this now that are going to be in Man of Tomorrow? Gunn has said, oh, a bunch of these people will be in the next. He said Rick Flag's going to be in the next fucking movie, which is like, great. I can't wait for that. But it's like, then why do these characters shift so much? I don't know.
Yeah, it just doesn't fit, doesn't track, and I just don't know. Like the one little highlight, like, oh, you're opposing him now, or opposing Lex Luthor here, and now a month later you're moving his plans forward, stuff like that. And he's like, oh, he's the smartest person on the planet, but doesn't mean I have to like him and all that stuff. And then every time he gets a report from Lex Luthor, he like slams on the table. And is
Great
like,
job,
"Fuck
buddy."
Yeah, good job. Yeah, he's just so
Lex is sending little
stoked
love
on it.
notes.
Yeah,
Looks
just
great to me.
weird.
It's like, what is going on?
Just
And
feels sloppy.
And again, why not in Superman then? Like, even that, like, because he's not the one. When Hawkgirl has that president, like, the mask on meme and like, I'm not Superman and drops him, right? And then later on, they show the parade and everything. Rick Flag's not the character that says, like, oh, look, the metahumans are running everything, right? That's someone else that says that to him, right? And he looks there, like,
Yes.
all like, he's thinking about it. make that his line in that movie then. If you know this is the route you're going to take, make it of like, okay, I was on their side, but now they're just killing fucking government officials. They're not going to prison. This is kind of fucked up. We got to do something. They made him, even when he arrested Superman, he's like, oh, sorry, Big Blue. Like, it felt like he was a torn character. And Creature Commandos, he works with a bunch of, so now that whole entire team he worked with, is he just like, yeah, I'm gonna call you to dinner and then lock you the fuck up? Like, the motivations are not there. And I guess again, you could do the, oh, it was a shapeshifter, it was Lex controlling him, but then like to have that example, I agree on the reverse side. Then you reveal it in this show, then you go, oh, okay, that makes it feel better because you saw all the breadcrumbs of why Rick Flag was off, and now he's because oh, fuck, man. Could you imagine if he got Cena got thrown through that door at close and the only other person there's actually Rick Flag Sr. and they got to work together?
Ooh,
fuck, man.
Juice.
Like, think about that. It's like you got to work
And
with the
it's
guy.
Emotep in this version for some reason.
You got to work with the guy that killed your son to get out of there, man. Where is my man? Chills. My
Like James
God.
Gunn, hire this guy.
No, he'll
Fire
see your
yourself.
video, be like,
Fire-
you were making jokes about my wife fucking John Cena. It's like, you make jokes
I'm
all the
gonna
time.
take your
man.
idea and use it anyway.
Yeah, your wife's gonna fuck John Cena now, Travis. But like, I was waiting for. I have to be missing something here. There has to be something, and there just wasn't. Could you imagine that them on that island together? Fuck, man, that's a season 3 I want to see right there. It's just them working together. But nah, he's just a shitty heel that's just like, this is for Ricky. It's like, all right, man, cool.
Asshole. Like, fuck,
Yeah,
man.
and I didn't buy. I get what people are gonna say because, man, so the whole season's about getting Chris Peacemaker because he wants him. Has Peacemaker get out of jail? They just give some money to a guard, like, yeah, you're free to go, and he just like walks out of prison, doesn't want to. And I know someone like, oh well, Rick Flag, he did get Chris in the end, But the point is, what if Chris could have went anywhere? What if he has more tech to get in a portal? So this guy who hates his son, if he even knew, like, just for a couple days, Chris is out in the wild, that does not track at all what the Rick Flag they gave us. He is every time, where's Peacemaker? He's such a threat. So to me, it's just like, you let him out of prison, and Chris could at any point maybe got to a different world and just been gone, and now you lost the guy that killed your son. So again, where like that storyline went nowhere of him really and I know someone will say, oh, at the end he got him, but it's like that just felt like they forgot about it and like, oh, we'll dovetail it together.
Like, literally.
I'm saying they did resolve it, but it was a very lazy resolution. It felt like it was something they had forgot about, and it did not. To me, that was what I was excited about, and they pitched about Rick Flag Sr., and they did not give that storyline much justification, really, at all. They didn't even really have a conversation either. No. So, yeah.
No, I was saying in the spoiler-free section, like the Fade to Black scene, how it just felt like, oh, we forgot to throw in a piece that like continues on the story. It's like they're just improving the story and like shooting it as they're going, and then it's like, oh fuck, we forgot to actually have him arrested go through the salvation portal when he was arrested, so now he's free. When we could have just fucking did this when he was arrested, maybe do these other scenes earlier on, or like just piece it together properly. It just seems, I don't know, like we're just flipping the switch, going backwards and forwards. Is not appetizing, not palatable.
Yeah. And that's where it's just like the idea of Man of Tomorrow is going to have Superman, Lex, Supergirl, Rick Flag, Peacemaker. Yeah. It's just, again, and I would say before, Gunn is like the master of these multi-characters, but now I've seen a few projects where I go, you know what? That's not the case, because I left Superman being like, I didn't get enough of Lois, and I'm leaving this show being like, I didn't get enough of a lot of characters, and then like Rick Flag Sr.'s arc is just completely feels like unfinished or rushed. So now I have that where before I go, no, Gunn, he got that. He's a master at dealing with 8 to 7 characters, right? But now it's like, especially too in those other projects, you could argue the Guardians, they're all main characters, but it's a big ensemble, right? But Lex, Superman, Peacemaker, Supergirl, those are like main characters now. You got to give them all time. Even Lois, I could buy like, okay, she's just, she's the love interest, which I don't like that. But if that's what you want to try and sell me on, okay, fine. But I don't know. I am very worried about Man of Tomorrow, especially with the rate they're moving of like this in a weekend, and then Man of Tomorrow, he wrote a treatment, and he's like, yeah, it's all green light, good to go. Even though he said they're not going to green light anything to a full script, it's like, I get it. You want to get moving, and maybe it's that idea of contract time and everything, but I feel like there's enough issues going on here. So let's take our second ad break, and we'll be right back. And we're back. Anything else on Rick Flag Sr. or that stuff that we need to talk about? Lexus Goons?
No, I already mentioned the like the love dynamic between him and that lady is just, it seems so shoehorned in for
Not
no
even
reason.
needed.
And she's like already sus of him and like working with Harcourt. Like it just so unneeded. It was
Yeah.
like you didn't even have to have them sleeping together. You could like had the exact same result where she's just sussing it out, and then she meets. I don't know. It's all bad across the board for Mr. Rick Flag.
Yeah, and you know what was bad? Where again, I think the scene is written great. I think the acting is written great. But I remember in episode 1 they did this. And we're like, oh, they ever gonna really talk about this again? And same thing like the Fade to Black. They're like, right? Remember, Ads had a girlfriend, fiance, wife.
Man.
We should wrap that up. We should tell that storyline. And again, I think if you were in an acting class and they're like, hey, I wrote the scene, I'm going to act it out as my performance, right? They do that all the time. I can't remember this technical term, but it's like you kind of make a performance and you give that and a teacher will grade you, right? If it was a scene like that, this is fantastic. Some great dialogue here. Adibero is like acting her ass off. I believe it. Problem is, I'm not invested in this relationship at all because we only got very little of it in Peacemaker and then season 2 right away off screen. Oh yeah, we're broken up, and then now it's like, yeah, we shouldn't be together. There's been no other conversations. There's been no other scenes. There's been nothing, and they're supposed to expect me to really care about this relationship that they've invested zero time into. Like they should just done this episode 1 then have this big scene to be
Literally,
done.
yeah.
Like I just when she pulled up, I was like, oh, we're really doing this, huh? Because to me, someone might be like, oh, well, on the premiere, you said they should continue it. Yeah, they should throughout the season, throughout the show, not just episode 1 and then episode 8. That does not count. That to me is just like this is for Ricky. That's just a cheap, like, yeah, we gave you the answer. It's like you did. And the scene by itself is great. But man, again, just was really disappointed of, yeah, the storyline really did nothing. And again, just break them up in season 1 for good forever. Do that scene there and then move along. And that could play into like why Ads needs Chris even more, right? Because she's fully alone versus, oh, they're kind of separated. Will they, won't they get back together? And we didn't see when I'm going to put you in danger. It's like, when was she in danger this season, really? Chris was in danger. And then when Chris said, hey, they didn't do anything, it was all me. They're like, yeah, sure, Ads, you're free. They didn't lock her up. You're like, it wasn't like they were not like the only time she was in danger is when she went to the fucking Nazi racist universe. So sure, if she brings her wife there, it's gonna be a problem. But yeah, all this felt really hollow to me.
I completely agree 100% with what you said. I think they should have just ended it like episode 1 or 2. I think you can plays devil's advocate. You could argue, well, like Adebayo has to go through that growth to realize that she's not compatible with her wife because she has that one conversation with Judo Master. It's like a really quick scene, and then it leads to this. And like literally, when she's pulling up to talk to Kay or whatever her name was, I'm just like, oh right, this character. Okay, she's gonna like get back together, and then they're gonna be together for like next season. Like, there's a reason why we stuck this character in this season and didn't just end it last season. But no, it's just a breakup scene, and as you said, very well acted for both of them. Like I thought it was a tremendously acted scene, and they like almost fooled me of like, why, like this is the finale for Peacemaker right now, and this is what's happening. It was. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to repeat it. I completely agree with everything you said. It's just, why are we even doing this? It's just, it's not like I don't care. Well, it is. I don't care about the characters, and it's their fault for making me not care about these characters. And like, why are they showing me this emotional scene at the end as if I'm like invested in the relationship? I'm not at all. I'm totally fine if they broke up between seasons. I think I was talking, I think I was critiquing that at the start of episode 1 reviews. But I don't even know the other alternative because I didn't have Kay at all in these. It's not like I'm gonna be missing that character now going forward. So, what a decision.
Taylor, anything on Ads and her?
I don't really have much. I wasn't expecting them to kind of give us another scene here where she's like, I'm here to let you go. It's like, I already thought we fucking dealt with this before. So it just doesn't, I don't know. I don't know what the point is. I'm not sure why James Gunn felt like this was an important story beat above other story beats to just make this prominent. Like I don't know.
For the new show he's announcing, just Adebayo and Kay, but it's like a prequel. It's like because they're actually done now in the continuity.
Very important to the future of the DC universe.
It'll be animated too.
Yeah.
It's something I would have loved to.
We won't be reviewing that one.
What I would love to have gotten a follow up to is the whole like, do you do Greek thing? that guy, like her one client. I would have loved to have gotten some kind of
Jesus.
conclusion to the client.
Yeah, all right, James Gunn. Yeah, I don't think it worked out for her. So at that point, they get Chris out. We cover this a little bit, but they all do a speech about like, Chris, you mean a lot to us and everything. Which, again, I thought there was gonna be a moment there, but there's not. When Adrian's like, "You're my best friend, and you make my life better." It's like, well, the whole season's has shown like he's not like truly your best friend. And Chris was never like, "Yeah, you are always over there for me, Adrian." So I thought this scene was not. I thought the ad scene was well written and directed and acted, but it just didn't make sense. Where I thought this scene was like fine. Like it just didn't like, even when they're like, "Oh, Economos, he's a coward, but he sticks his neck for you," and they go to him and his line is just like he nods his head. So I thought this was like a little weak, and like I said before, I didn't like Chris walking in the fucking room like, didn't mean anything. It's like, no, man, like we're too far gone. But of course, hardcore says it meant everything. So, all right, cool, we're back on that train. I do like they play the song from whatever the band's name is. I can't remember the song name too because I got on my live playlist. I like the song, but it's the opening credits dance, and he's doing those dances, so it's like kind of like a fun like full circle moment where he's doing the same dances in the opening credits. They're playing the song because him and Hardcore are at the concert. So I like that kind of full circle moment. It is very fun. And then you're seeing the whole team set up, and that was the picture. One, they want him to stick around, and then two, they got an idea that they're going to do things themselves and change things, and they've decided to use Adrian's blood money to do some good, right? And then they've opened up the checkmate system. So what that is from the comments. It is something similar. I've not read them. It's tough because I was talking with some people. Mike talked about this. I told it was Chris, but like most of the people I've seen talk about checkmate it's a pretty like it's more on the serious side of things for DC property. And to me, it's like, one, all these characters that they introduced in the team are not serious characters, and two, if James Gunn's writing them, it's not going to be that. So again, I just don't know if I need Gunn's system around. And he did say that you will see the characters of this show in a different show, and it wouldn't be Peacemaker season 3. He didn't say Peacemaker season 3 is completely done, but that's just not in the immediate plan. So yeah, Taylor, I'll start with you. What do you think about this, them creating their own kind of system, their own job, and what would you be interested at all in a checkmate show with these characters? And I would assume, I could be wrong, but I would assume Sans Peacemaker, because he would be gone for now. So I don't know. What did you think about this, them putting their own thing together?
I'm down for this. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Again,
As a concept or its own show?
as its own show, because most of these characters, even though they've been all with Argus, they've still just been popping up along the way, and they just have really funny dialogue with each other, and I really, really like that. Is it Meadows? Tim Meadows?
Yeah, he
His
did
name?
join the crew. Yeah.
Yeah, so he joined the crew, which I really liked, and again, just the stuff of them walking around the alternate reality, and they're trying to open up doors, and just him talking was just fucking hilarious. He was just killing it in this episode when he's talking about the guy, like just Cupie, is that his name? Cupie? The guy that got his
don't know.
face mauled off
like-
by
yeah,
the
something
candy
like that.
monsters.
Oh yeah, which I did not like that scene. I didn't like the monster. I liked when they die and they had a sound effect, but when they're like humping the helm, I'm just like, man, he just sometimes can't help. He just can't help it sometimes. man,
Why is he implementing that kind of stuff in here?
Yeah.
Just
I don't know.
that's like just childish humor. But anyways, so I think Tim Meadows did a great job though when he's telling the story and wherever it's leading, and it's just the guy just ended up puking, and it's just really, really funny, and I think he did a good job.
Oh, you
with
liked
it.
that? That took too long for me, and the payoff was not worth it. Like
The
I threw
payoff
up on her
was not
titties,
the payoff was not
cool.
worth it, but I liked him just trying like getting there and trying to set up everything, because just the way he was selling it and telling it really was starting to make me laugh. But not as funny as well, no, he wasn't in. No, I'm getting that confused with Judo Master, which I'm also am happy that Judo Master is part of the team too. Again, all the chemistry between all these characters is really it's something I look forward to if we get that season 3 or if we get them somewhere else. I mean, I can't see really a reason why you'd have like Superman teaming up with this crew. Checkmate.
I think the crew would be separate. I think the idea is that Peacemaker is going to move over to more of the mainline stuff, and then Checkmate's going to be its own thing. That's where I'm opposite of you. I don't know if I need this as a show. I think if you say it's Checkmate and Peacemaker's there, but it's just one of those things where sometimes I don't know if a crew needs or a character needs a spin-off show or movie, and it's just like, and I guess you made it for a cheap budget. I don't know how you sell that show out, John Cena, unless they get some other big actor to be along. Like I just don't. I love Tim Meadows, and don't get me wrong, Steve Agee or whatever you say his name was fantastic this season. Like when he's telling that story and he's like, "Oh, the prawns game, you see it," and Otis is like. There was no prawns game. So he's like, "Fuck you, man!" Like his delivery is so damn good at these lines they give him. But like
But
a
he asked
checkmate,
the other guy too. He's like, "What do you think of it?" He's like, "There
Wasn't
was
you
no
last
game,
night?"
you fucking idiot."
I don't know. I'd have to see, but it's not something where they announced the checkmate show. I'm like, man, I can't fucking wait for that because and I'm sure James Gunn will be like, oh, it sets the next chapter of the DCU and it's a vital piece and yet da 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 da. But I just like I think I just like the concept of. Let's eventually just wait till we do Peacemaker season 3 and the checkmate unit is in there. I don't know if I need checkmate without John Cena because they're not making Peacemaker season 3. Gunn said tonight as right like the plans for the immediate future and Peacemaker's and Superman. So clearly he would not be in this show. And I don't know, even though for some reason, don't know why, I'm very hit or miss with the vigilante Adrian character. Him and Tim Meadows together, that had me going good. I don't know why. I was like the two of them together. That's like a weird like it's almost like Tim Meadows' characters found someone more annoying than him, and he was like, "What the fuck's wrong with you? Like, do you really even know anything about spiders?" Like, oh, absolutely. Like, oh, well, it says when they
Man,
molt
every
them together.
shot, it, like,
What are you? They molt into lava, and it's.
And it goes to the shot of like Tim Meadows like reading off the computer, and it's like spiders have hydraulic legs, like just like the fact, like I don't know what bullshit website he's on, but just every fact he's reading off, he's like, no, yeah, it says it's right here. They milk, you can buy it at Whole Foods
Yeah.
store. Fuck yeah, they were getting me going. Tim Meadows was 100% for me. Like even the scene, I didn't love like the payoff by any means, but it was just Tim Meadows going off, and when he's talking about the with the gargantuous fucking titties, and he's just going on. Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah. Kirkland, same question. You want a checkmate show with these characters? No Peacemaker.
Want? I don't think I'm asking for this show,
Okay.
but
Do
like,
you need it?
will I? No. Will I watch it? Maybe. I thought I was gonna be watching Strangers Chapter 2, but
Oh yeah, true.
that hasn't happened yet. So
I
plans
think
change.
that would be us watching the first episode and the listeners dictating if that's something
Yeah.
that's needed,
or like
'Cause-
what's on the schedule around that time.
exactly because I
Yeah.
just like unless there's something right unless
as a
like
Wakanda situation.
David Cornsweat is in checkmate as the main guy, which we didn't get. I thought for sure we get Superman. I thought Gunn was lying about that, but he wasn't. So, so they set that up. They did like fucking 10 slow motion shots of them walking out of the building. Cool, I get it. It's a bunch of ragtag people like Guardians all together and Squad. I understand. Cool. So that happens, fades to black. You think it's over, right? Oh, that's the end. And then all of a sudden, Chris is getting at his home. Boom, hood over his head, thrown in a van. He gets taken to the facility. Also, we talked about a bit about this with Rick Fake Sr.'s storyline, but they get him, they bring him to the portal, and we did talk about this a little bit too, but he's pitching this place called Salvation to the government as far as this is going to be a place where we lock up metahumans, and he said like maybe some other people. It'll be all in the paperwork again. Very, very shady guy. Like just overly shady, not even like a clever, like he's even more shady than Lex was in Superman, which like Lex still like hit it a little bit. This is like this guy has completely ulterior motivations and just a bad guy, but whatever, fuck it, fine, we'll do that. He throws him through this portal, closes it, and he just said, oh, we need someone to test. He's like, oh, thanks for being a volunteer, because I guess Chris did sign something earlier that volunteered him to do that. So he is closed off into another dimension. This dimension is this fully wooded forest area. We hear some stuff going on. And yes, this is from the comic books where there's a place called the Salvation Run. It is like this where Amanda Waller and Rick Flag did have the idea to just let's throw metahumans in. No judge, jury, let's just get them in there. And then eventually, I've never read it. Eventually, I guess somehow Darkseid learns about this and uses it as like a training ground or something. I don't know if they're going to go there. They could, because I have heard people be like, well, if you do Darkseid, that's going to be a lot of people thinking about the Snyderverse. Majority of people, I know people are going to hate hearing this, majority of the people in the world saw the theatrical Justice League in the theaters, and Darkseid was nowhere fucking near that movie. They just think it's bad CGI Steppenwolf. So when people are like, oh man, I don't know, that's Zack started that. Nah, not like, no, I'm not, don't get me wrong, I understand that, but it's like, no, like, that was a plot line in a movie that came out during COVID that was a bunch of years later, and now it's been what? That came out in 2020, right? Snyder Cut? Or 21? It was 20, right?
It's around COVID.
No, I think it was 20, right? Yeah, someone looked that up. So, like, if that's the case, by the time they get to Darkseid,
21.
okay,
March
so
18th.
and even then, by the time they get to Darkseid, it's gonna be like probably like a decade later. Like, so I think that could be something. And James Gunn did say that this is setting up the future of where the DCU is going. I don't know exactly what that's going to mean because I've not read the Salvation Run. And hey, maybe comic versions we would maybe do that. But yeah, I guess that's the idea that they're going to start locking metahumans up here. And I'm not sure if it's going to be if it's where Superman gets locked up or if Lex Luthor is the person that decides to use these metahumans as like I can get you out if you do me a favor. I really don't know. The only thing I want from this, and to me, if this does not happen, it's a huge fumble because Chris is left there, no weapons, no Peacemaker stuff, anything like that. To me, in Superman, Man of Tomorrow, Superman 2, it's not a sequel. It's not a sequel to Superman, but Man of Tomorrow, that if they go here, they need to do Rob Williams Jumanji with John Cena. He needs to have the long hair, big beard, and he's crazed. If it's just like, a couple weeks later they bump into Chris, no. You know why? Because John Cena can fucking nail that out of the park. If just imagine a segment where Lex and Superman are going through a bunch of shit and they land in the Salvation Run and the only person to help them and where things are is a crazed John Cena with the Rob Williams Jumanji look. I won't say it's all worth it, but that'll give me some points like, okay, this could be tons of fun. If it's just Chris and he's clean shaven and it's just the same old guy with like a little dirtied up, it's like, what are we doing here? So I don't know. Like I've not read it, so I don't have that excitement, but also just the pitch of, okay, a bunch of metahumans get locked here, and Darkseid eventually finds them and does some terrible shit, which I agree with Mike. Yeah, he's the final boss, so you gotta do Darkseid at some point. But to me, it's not like, I don't know, I'm like, oh man, this sounds like a great storyline. I can't wait to see. Like, don't get me wrong, I'll be there, give it a chance, but I'm not like frothing at the mouth of this idea. Maybe it's just because it's like another multiverse thing where we got so much of it. It's like, okay, that's gonna be another concept, I guess, is more multiverse stuff. So yeah, what do we think about this idea of it gonna be a big plot point going forward of them using this salvation place to lock up metahumans and I guess enemies like Peacemaker altogether?
Major Monster Inc. vibes with the when he goes
that's
to
fair.
the with the abominable snowman. That was like the first thing I thought. It's like the scene is so similar when they like shut the door and he runs at it and then he falls. But I think I'm 52% in the positive on this, and like it's not because I'm against it. It's just like, okay, I have no attachment to this idea. I don't know any history with the comic book. We didn't jump into that in the comic book versions or
Yeah.
anything like that. But it's like I think I'm intrigued by kind of what you pitched of like, okay, like what's gonna happen when we find Peacemaker next? Like that's the most enticing thing for me now. Not so much because this could be potentially like a what is it? The rumor requirement from Harry Potter, like that type of thing where like the students are training, like that type of aspect for Darkseid. I hated the pitch. I don't like Rick Flag, don't like Frank Grillo. So like when he's pitching it and the guy is like, this seems just like Lex Luthor. Oh, now it seems like you are just Lex Luthor pitching his ideas. And he's like not even shutting it down. It's like, okay, well maybe we can work with this. It's like, dude, fuck these like government entities in the universe. They're just so fucking stupid, and it's probably even worse in real life. It is even worse in real life because we actually have to deal with the repercussions. We can't just have this escapism into these artificial worlds. But yeah, I don't know. I'm open to being really swayed on this idea of salvation. Looks like a nice place. Seems like a nice place that he can make his own. Do they like Rick Flag and team? Do they know everything about this place, or it's just like you can't access it unless you?
I
use
feel like they
everything?
gotta have some stats on it, right? Because they're like, we found the perfect one. This is it. So
Not on the creatures, though. I mean,
No.
Rick just said
I
he
think you're getting
wants
some
to see
dinosaurs,
what
Taylor.
Sounded like
dinosaurs.
probably predators.
I
and trees
saw
too.
I saw a meme earlier where it was like, imagine if they had like the Teen Titans that popped up and there's a T-Rex in behind the Teen Titans, and I was
Well,
like,
that's
it's all
just
random.
I think that's just Beast Boy who can turn into other animals.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Fuck. Okay.
A giant green dino. That'd be cool.
Yeah, and then Robert Pattinson's Batman's beside him. I don't know how I got here. I was like,
I've been
fuck.
trapped.
I'm
Let
not
me
zero
Zero
out.
out of 10.
He's like looking at the camera. It's like breaking the fourth wall. Let me out.
This is me if I'm all. That's me to James Gunn. And, what have you done?
Is he a metahuman or is he Peacemaker level?
Batman?
Yeah,
No. He's just a dude.
just a dude. Okay,
He's
a rich guy.
vigilante.
so he's
Yeah.
Peacemaker.
Ass kicker. Batman would have got in that fucking portal. He would have knew Rick Flag was coming, you know? Not a chance. Not a chance. He would have turned around, threw Rick Flag in that thing and said, like, you know, sucks about your dead kid, and then closed the portal, you know? That would have been it. He would have bought everybody there. All those people.
Oh, you guys all signed. You're volunteers.
Uncanny Suit says, feels like there was a lot of missed potential on the season with the overall Earth X. I think we all kind of agree with Argus, Sasha, Proto, or Flag's character, pretty whelmed overall. Yeah, when you put it like that with a bunch of stuff in a row, I think that it goes again. A lot of those fucking episodes being 38 minutes, 35 minutes. It's like, all right, we don't got, and lots of episodes too. I feel like there's a complete full filler episode in this. But Taylor, the initial pitch before we end this, what do you think about this idea of DCU heading towards some metahumans being locked together, and I imagine having to work together? Maybe that's how some teams are formed, etc.
I mean, we saw this not just limited to metahumans with Superman, right? Where Lex had his little interdimensional world portal where he was locking up anyone that he just didn't like.
We kind of already did this.
We did already do this. So this is, James Gunn just fucking loves this theory.
He's gonna be with heroes this time, though, Taylor. It's gonna be with characters we know, I guess, right?
Right. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes out of it. I mean, I'm not really running and rushing for this kind of idea, but yeah, I don't know. I would like to see your pitch where he does have a little scraggly hair and he's going full Jumanji coming out of that portal. I think that would really, really be funny and really something, because I mean, at this point, Rick Flag Sr. is expecting him to die in there, and I would love to see him just come back. And then it could even be a thing where, like, maybe, and this is a stretch, but his brother from the Nazi world manages to find him and saves him or something like that. Like that whole that whole world interdimensional rift where they're walking. I mean, it's not just limited just to them, right? You can see the alien come out with the rat and through the rat in the fire, but then even Keith can go through his door. Keith could bring a whole army and then just be fighting them, right? So there's a lot of cons still here, and I mean, you can't forget about Keith. Even though in this episode they instilled like, oh, I killed my brother and I killed my dad and from this perfect universe or whatever, Amelia didn't come forward and say, hey, technically you didn't kill your brother. Like, your brother Keith is still alive out there, which creates an interesting thing. Yeah.
Which is like, it's fine because we kind of knew it was going to happen, but man, really, Rick Flag Jr. was just that one cameo, eh? Was just sleeping with Harcourt, the sex scene, and then
depending whatever they do later, I mean, I feel like they could bring him back if they do a third season or something.
Yeah. A lot of laters, but
he'd be racist.
Here. That's true. Anything else before we do an overall rating here for the season? Anything you must bring up my notes just to be sure.
Are you sure?
My notes didn't save, so fuck me, right? I have them here somewhere.
No notes. No notes for me. That's all the time I can buy for you at this point in time.
No, that's it. Yeah. I will, maybe I'm the lowest. I will give this season a 6 out of 10. I think there's episodes that are lower than that, but I think there is still some stuff that's enjoyable. But yeah, 6 out of 10 for me. As I said in the opening, not too hyped about the DC right now. I really need Green Lantern and Supergirl to deliver. Not the worst thing ever. I just was hoping for more. So it's just like, oh, that's fine. It's still good. I've passed Superman. I passed Peacemaker. Definitely it's in a more downward trajectory. But yeah, not loving this. And definitely prefer Peacemaker season 1. Felt way more fulfilled. Way more like a full season. Fun surprises. And yeah, just didn't have the same effect here. So 6 out of 10 for me.
All right, I will throw a stone a little bit higher above your score. I'm going to go 7.25 on this review. Couldn't quite give it 7.5. Just really don't like what they did. Like Rick Flag, just major doo-doo caca. And then, yeah, just like finale. I think this could have maybe jumped like a whole point potentially if this finale really hit. But it was really, really, really flat for me. But like... positives, acting across the whole board was really, really stellar. Even Kay, she was good for what she was in it. Tim Meadows though, like major gold star for me. He was just so fantastic, and I'm excited that he wasn't just killed off in this season. You know, like we can get some more Tim Meadows. I want him to be like
blindness.
Like what's his name?
How'd they
Jimmy
not have
Woo?
him at-
Jimmy Woo?
yeah, Jimmy
What's-
Woo,
Randall
yeah.
Park. Like that type of character where he's just in the universe, like bouncing around places. You know, he usually sticks to around the Ant-Man stuff, but like he's very much his own character now. Like I want that for Tim Meadows. I don't want him to just be constrained to this. But who knows? Maybe that's what's the checkmate thing's going to be, or it sounds like that's what it's going to be at least. But yeah, disappointing because I was like they fooled me. I wasn't super hyped for the season, and then they had me, and then they kind of lost me along the way. So I kind of wish they didn't even have me, but I don't know. I do like the character Peacemaker. Ever since the Suicide Squad, I've been a big fan of him. So yeah, it's tough. It's not like it's like such a toxic relationship where I'm just like, okay, there's no positive. I gotta get the fuck out of this. I'm done with Peacemaker. I'm done with this universe. There is enough positive traits that I want to be invested in, but just treat me wrong here with the Frank Grillos in there. But that's all I'll say. I'll pass it along.
Oh, I'm gonna meet in the middle here, kind of. I'm just go with 7. So not lower than you, Travis. Not higher than you, Kirkland. Again, as these episodes kept coming out, I feel like okay, I was getting more and more on board. But I think I would still put that first season over this, for sure. It's just the finale was really, really damaging. Not happy with how they did certain things and executed other narratives and just their focuses and how they're expediting things. It was not my cup of tea, which is a shame. Because like I said, things were progressively getting better. Last week's episode was absolutely a highlight. Really enjoyed it. But yeah, alas, this is what we got. 58 minutes, and it just didn't bring or make the most of that time, unfortunately. It just felt like there was a lot of setup, which I don't know. I feel like, and it's been a while since I've seen it, but Game of Thrones used to do this thing where like you get to that second final episode, and that would be like the big battle, the big thing, whatever, and then you'd have like that one fall off, or not fall off, but like post episode at the end of like episode 12 or 13 of season 1 or 2, and that would just kind of give you like the cool down, and it would just kind of set things up for what's to come next and so forth. And I feel like that's what happened here, but I don't like it. In this sense, I wish that, you know, in this sense, it would have been more of like a start to finish cohesive story, especially when you have James Gunn saying like, oh, you know, season 3, yada, 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 20 years from now, who knows? So
Not a full quote from him.
no, I was paraphrasing.
Okay. 20 years, season 3, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We have done it. Let us know. Also, we got the Discord. Let us know what you thought about the finale on Twitter, YouTube, Discord, Patreon, wherever it may be. And then, yeah, we'll be back for more DCU stuff, I guess. We don't have a date for Lanterns, but I'm going to assume we're talking about this today. It's probably anywhere from March to April because they're kicking the year off with the Night of the Seven Kingdoms or whatever with Game of Thrones. So that's going to go January to February. So I imagine March, April, we'll be back talking about that. And yeah, hopefully it's a more overall, obviously not a super negative. It's not, we're not talking about some alien Earth endings here, but obviously I hope we soon get a DCU project where we're all in sync and we're giving it like a 10 or 9, you know, something like that. That'd be great. But maybe it's Lanterns, maybe it's not. Until then,
Batman 2.
I don't count that as DCU. You know, that's not.
It's gonna be.
I'm gonna. All right, let's get out of here. Thank you very much. I promise you, here's next. It won't be boring.